All right, hello and welcome back to another weekly edition of Stock Market Mutterings. This is for the week ending on July 1st. We're already in the month of July. I hope your June was good. I'm feeling good, like I should. Sorry for the dancing. Anyway, what I'm going to try to do is find you some quality setups that you can make some money with on this very shortened week. I think we only have a half a day on Tuesday. Full day off on Wednesday for the 4th of July. You got to love that. Hope you enjoy it. And then we'll see how the remainder of the weekend. So let's begin with the SPY as we normally do. Just get a kind of a snapshot of the market. Now, one of the things that we left off with last week, we were talking about the discrepancy between the Dow itself and the Nasdaq and the SPY. Because usually they're somewhat in unison, not perfectly, but most of the time they're somewhat in unison. We've seen something different. We've had the Dow has really taken hard to this tariff news. You've seen stocks like Boeing really get drilled. You've seen the overall Dow go on, I think it was an 11-day losing streak, and one of its worst starts in about 8 years. So it's really been hammered pretty bad. The Nasdaq has been sort of the story of these big FANG names floating up there at highs, performing really well. We saw a little bit of money coming out of those names, so we're going to talk about it. Let's just look at the SPY. So right now the battle becomes the 50. I'm going to open this chart up just a little bit more so you guys can see it here. There we go. So the red line is the 50 moving average. The blue line down there, the teal line, is the 200 moving average, which we fought off a few times already. So you can see the battle going in between that 50 moving average, back and forth, back and forth. Now, you're always going to get rallies in bear markets, and you got a pretty strong rally, and there were two things that really stood out to me, and that was two rallies that we did have where we began the day very strong in triple-digit territory to see a lot of that be retraced. And then we had a strong Friday, and the Dow was up a couple of hundred points as well, selling off. Now, I don't know if that's just fun selling, like they say, window dressing at the end of the quarter, who knows? But we got to pay attention to this, because right now the struggle is the SPY can't hold the 50 moving average right now. If it can't, the only place it has left to go is this 200, which is now sitting at, I think it's 266 and a half, like 266.80, somewhere in that area. So that'll be very important as we progress through the week. Will we or will we not hold this level? Now, if we can, then you're looking at maybe getting back up to the 20 moving average, like the 275s, 276s. I mean, hell, it can go either way. But we find ourselves after a pretty strong rally a couple of weeks ago, right back at that level. At some point, it may very well stick that 200 moving average, and you might see some serious selling. If you start to see closing, basically what I'm saying is here, is being in a delicate area like this, if you see strong closes and heavy selling and heavier volume underneath of that 200 moving average, you may very well, we all may very well be going into a shorter term correction or a much deeper pullback. Not suggesting that it's a crash, but possibly you see something like that. So there will always be long and short opportunities regardless of the market. So I've got a couple of things I'm going to look at. I know I've talked about some of these stocks before, but this freaking TTD it's got its own thing going on. I mean, look at this chart. This thing is just sitting up here ready to scour up higher into probably the 100s. I mean, look at this thing. It's an animal. It moves a little bit slower if you're a day trader and you're looking for like ultimate alpha. You may not get it right here, but who knows? It's got some pretty good movement to it. The thing is, one of the bullish signs that you have is, number one, when the market's going down and the stock continues to stay strong. That's normally a bullish indicator. Second, when it's a victim of a hit piece and it shrugs off negative news, downgrades, or whatever it may be, that's also a positive. This has done both of them. I think don't quote me to the exact name, but I think Citron was on this one. Citron or Muddy, I can't remember. But somebody hit it the other day. You can see right here on this part of the chart where it went down, sunk way below the 10, pin bar wick, comes back up, and here you are tapping on new time highs. And if you get up here over, I think this is the 21st. Yeah, you get over the 21st, the highs were 94.36. You get over 94.36, and you can stick it, then who knows? You may very well say. Now, you did get that on Friday, just poked its head above that, was unable to hold, but still, while the market was selling off, look, this thing didn't even fade that much. So seriously, this thing looks like it's got a 100 print coming here in the near future, so put it on your list. Now, BIDU, one of the things we were talking about, the FANG names and the bigger names, some of the money's starting to come out. You saw a little air coming out of Netflix and Amazon and a couple other ones. This thing, look at this bottom chart over here. I think it might be cluttered up. There we go. Right here. Just look at this little area where I got this line. I mean, this is a double bottom stretching back to May. at 236.48. If we, first I have to tell you, I'm not a big fan of shorting at low a day and down at support. For some reason, that gig just never turns out well for me. I know some of you love that thing. It doesn't work too well for me. But anyway, if you start to see the same thing, let's say the market is weak. You have to have a plan for it. Let's say you stay heavy selling, market's weak. I mean, hell, you take this out. I mean, that's going back to the gap as well in 430. You take this out, this stock has easy 230 in it, 229s. I mean, easy a big chunk sell-off. And if there's any induced panic into the market, for some reason we blow below the 200, who knows? It could turn out to be a monster short. But again, when stocks get down to vital areas like this, you have to pay attention to them, because regardless of what you think, they're going to bounce. It will either bounce like hell off of that, not bounce, but it will either bounce off of that support again, or it's going to lose it and really flush out. So there's going to be a trade that presents itself there in BIDU, so put it up there. Now somebody else here who doesn't give a damn is Wayfair. Well, I don't know what this thing's doing, what the point is here, but this thing is an absolute freaking animal. I say it every week. I barely trade the thing during the course of the week. I need to pay more attention to it because, you know, again, if you start to see a strong bounce off the moving, it doesn't matter what the freaking market's doing. Wayfair is doing what Wayfair wants to do. I mean, people want this stock. I mean, look at the action since May. I mean, it's had like 5 red days. What is the biggest down day was like 30 cents. That's an exaggeration, obviously. But look, now you busted through highs again. You're probably going to go 125, 130 on this stock. It's just a monster. If you're looking for a dip buy, a flush buy, a pullback buy, a strong stock to get behind, Wayfair. Wayfair, there it is. I don't know why, but there it is. Wayfair, watch that one. Also, one of the weekly features, NVDA. Just a lot like BIDU, you're starting to reach a critical support area. You can see it right down here. I want to put the line right there. There it is. 234.62. This is taking you back to April again. Big area. You lose that, you really don't have anywhere else to go but down to the 200 moving average, which is right there. Again, another stock that seems to be selling off on every rally. Like, it didn't do a very good job on Friday while the market was strong. It was getting sold off. Had one brief rally day there on Thursday. Wasn't a whole lot to talk about with it. It just, what's happening here is a lot of these strong stocks have just pulled off of their highs, and then they're unable to reclaim the highs, and they're unable to bounce. So here yet again, you got another one. You're very, very close. And just like BIDU, you get down there, there's going to be a trade. Either you're going to get a flush, and that thing is going to sell down harder, or we bounce. So you got to be prepared. You get down to these levels, there's trades to be made in either direction. And I'm going to throw this last one in our AAOI. I don't even know why I'm throwing. I hate this freaking stock. That's because I lost money on it last year. If truth be told. So anyway, yeah, most people won't admit that. They don't like to admit. I don't want to admit it. But, AAOI. Anyway, kind of flagging here a little bit. Look at it curling up here on the daily. This is the kind of stuff. Can I say the word trash? I know you AAOI lovers. Don't get on me. But I want to call it trash because we don't have a good history. So let me call it trash. This is what trash people buy when the market's sour. They go to this kind of, I don't know why. But anyway, you do have a pretty good flag setting up here, or a shorter term flag, I should say, 45, 54s. You might see a pretty good run on this thing or another crack at that 50. Now, will I trade this thing? Well, probably not. Probably not, because the demons of my past are deep. But anyway, watch some AAOI. So again, guys, if you have, questions, you need help with your trading, visit thelincolnlist.com. Trade with us live. If you have any stocks you want to talk about, send me an email, support@thelincolnlist.com. Until the next weekly stock market mutterings, enjoy the shortened weekend. Not weekend. Enjoy the shortened week and have a great week of trading. Take care.